What up, my friends, and welcome to The Friend Lab. We're your host and good friends, Bryce III.
I'm Liz McKean, and if you're here to cook up some friendship.
Keep that.
We know that it's hard to make friends, and it can be a challenge to keep friends and be a friend. So building connections in your life is something that you're looking to get better at. You're in the right place.
Friendship and connection and relationships of all kinds are the best kind of challenge. It's the thing that makes being a person worth being a person. We're excited to share our friendship with you.
So throw your lab coats on and let's get this experiment jumping. In the Friend Lab.
What up, everybody? And welcome to another episode of the Friend Lab Podcast. We are your host, Bryce III.
And Liz McKean.
And it is New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, one of the two. And what energy does a New Year's Eve or New Year's Day come with? How are you feeling about the conclusion of one year and the beginning of the next, Liz?
I am feeling great about it. I love the new beginning kind of feeling that comes with New Year. I used to feel very overwhelmed by the pressure that I felt like that new beginning, like the new beginning kind of brought. And I'm noticing that I don't really feel that this year. Just it's been I feel grateful to have the kind of like reminder, the calendar reminder to reflect back. And, there's so much in the future period, whether it's a new year or anything, that I can't control. And so I am choosing to just feel very excited about the future because I can. So
Sure
that's how
can.
I'm feeling about it. How about you?
I think I'm numb. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm dissociating. I think did we talk about that on the episode previous dissociation?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's that or if like it just helps to not feel right now, but I am numb. I might just be tired too, like emotionally tired in a way to where it's like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, birthday, the Valentine's Day. Who cares? So then, listeners, just so you know, Liz asked me, was I okay before we press record? And if I wanted to talk about whatever was going on, because she's a true friend, instead of do this episode. And I was like, no, because, hey, man, it's something about, I don't know, it's a weird thing, especially when it comes to like creative work, be it like creating art, writing music, performing music, making these podcasts, writing books, blogs, making content. Sometimes I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it doesn't help to like put the magnifying glass on what's going on. Sometimes it helps to just create and show up with the lens that maybe something I'll say can plant the seeds for someone else. And then in turn, the seeds are planted for myself in a way that makes things make sense in a way that it wouldn't make sense without that process. And sometimes I just gotta like dive into like my craft in that way. That, and it's dope because, we've gotten so much feedback where the things that we create help serve other people. And it's like, okay, cool. I can show up and I can serve. And that's another thing too, like service gets me outside of myself in a way that like doing the thing that is like, well, what's wrong with me? I get my journal and let me, well, what is this feeling? Well, what is that feeling? Well, why do I feel this way? I. It's
Which is
like,
usually how our podcasts go. To be honest.
to be honest. But it really helps to even just even if nobody listens to this episode and I just envision in my mind's eye that there's like 100 people that could benefit from something that we say here, create here, plant the seeds for here, that helps me to get outside of myself in a way that is like medicine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a forever study of ourselves, I guess, and the energetics of how we feel. And it's such human nature, I think, to well, I feel like, we've certainly talked about addiction and substance use on this podcast, but I think it's human nature that when you find something that helps, that feels better, you're like, okay, well, that's the thing that makes me feel better now. So you just continue to go back to that thing. And um fortunately and unfortunately, that's not how it works, like, how many times do I find myself, yeah, going way, way too much, just sitting with the feeling and thinking about it and turning it over in my head and looking at it from one direction and then the other direction, talking about it nonstop. Whereas actually, I just needed to move that energy around and like go to fucking yoga and take some deep breaths, or, like you said, dive into service or be creative, or just like go to a place where there's people. So I remember I'm not the only person on the planet, that is helpful. And then I'll be like, wow, that really helps. Let me do that all the time. And I'll be like, why do I feel like crap? Oh, it's because I haven't sat with myself and like checked in with how I'm feeling in a long time. Like, you really do need both. And it's just terribly inconvenient because it's not always super clear which one is the way to go in the moment.
Practice.
Being a
Practice.
person, I tell you.
And there's a couple of things there, especially since we're talking about New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, a new beginning. I kind of want to dig into, that conversation around resolution and goals, because last year is probably the most intricate that my annual goals have ever been. And at the end of that 365-day cycle, I can safely say that I'm just not the person that can stick with something for 365 days. There's some, it helped to see them. I know what really did help was I got this thing called the big ass calendar. And it's literally like the entire year just at a glance on my wall in my bedroom, which allows for me to like know what's coming up in a way that like really works with my ADHD and helps me to envision time in a way that's like, color coded, and it just makes sense.
Tangible, yeah.
Yeah, but there's certain things so there's two sides to the thing, because there's certain things, even like the things that are really beneficial to my life, that the excitement, and maybe this is something that I'm gonna work on this year, but the excitement from it dies down in ways that, like, even when I stoke it up again and remind myself again and see it again, like, the excitement continues to die down. And I know I can't depend on excitement because excitement is an emotion, but excitement does play a big role in like motivation for me. And there just wasn't a lot, even the things that like I had, like create, X amount of creative, like release X amount of creative projects, right? Like that's exciting. And that's a thing that I did, but it was less in alignment with my spirit to like cross, okay, 1, 2, 3, than it was to just like subscribe to it and do it. And I released multiple creative projects in 2025, but do I know how many I released? Not until I sit down and like look at it and compare it to like the number that I put on the board for the year, right? So that's one thing where it's like I gotta figure out something that works for me in a way that allows for me to, yes, maybe define the direction to move in, but not be so like harsh about how many numbers. Because even with that, there was a couple of things that I did hit and I knocked them out maybe by like the second quarter. And then when I crossed them out, it was almost anticlimactic. It was like, wait, what am I doing this for? Am I doing this to cross off like things or am I doing it for the fulfillment? And obviously the fulfillment is a result of, aiming to knock this thing out. But there was a piece of me that was like, oh yeah, we gonna get to 20. We gonna get to 20. One of the things I had was to like meet up, like intentional meetups with like loved ones. You know what I'm saying? So like coffee dates, like with sister, my mom, just like, and it was like 30 throughout the year. And I remember there was a quarter where I crossed them out and like I hit my quota. And instead of like feeling the fulfillment from the coffee dates, like I felt the emptiness of like checking off this goal and like that being it.
I'm just picturing you like deleting your mom and sister's phone numbers from your phone. You're like, I don't need this anymore. I hit my quota.
My goodness.
Just not how it works.
My goodness. And then the second side to this is again, you know, pay off my this, you know, do this for me, my. And I get sick of myself. You know what I'm saying? But when I show up for other people or when I show up in service, like there's a level of excitement and what it's like to like build something for a community of people and how every day it's like, how can we show up and serve better? Versus like how can I show up and do this amount of outreach this week for my business? And it's like, by 10, it's like I'm tired of myself, tired of trying to tell somebody about what it is that I had to offer. I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. But when it was like, okay, we showed up and they received this, but they were asking for this. So now we need to create this because that's what they really want. Like there's no end to like service, And so I think this year for me, if we do goals, one, it won't be so hard and fast like last year was. But two, I gotta incorporate like service. I gotta incorporate community, because it's a two-way street. Like it's where the medicine is for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's a lot of pressure to put on today, Liz, and today, Bryce, to decide what's best for like November 2026, Liz and Bryce. You know what I mean? Like, I would never expect that. Like, I wouldn't expect January Liz of 2025 to know what today Liz needs. Like, I appreciate her putting down some inspiring words and, doing some practices that felt like they were, made her feel like excited about the year. Like, I'm so pumped that she did that last year. But like, I don't look back at those notes and those lists as like, my marching orders because like, we were talking about this before when I shared that Instagram post with you where it's like I know her, but she doesn't even know me, and all the things that are going to happen. And I like to look at the new year as like a jumping off point in that if it feels good and exciting, doesn't every year, but if it feels good and exciting, it can be a thing where it's like, I'm excited about doing these things. This is the kind of person this is who I am right now. And this is, how I want to feel, things that I think would get me there. And just getting them on paper and having it feel like a fresh start can be very activating, can be like the ignition. But, I don't know what lies ahead. So that's what it is. And it's fun to look back on. But I agree with you. If the whole year is predicated on this, one day or one exercise of setting goals, it just takes out you don't have all the data that you need for that to be, the thing that you hold yourself to. And like I remember last year at this time, like I feel like you were in a very like, look kind of hungry for metrics and things like that, in a way and so you gave yourself what you needed, which was to create those. And now you're in a different place now and you're going to give yourself what you need now. And I think that's fucking awesome. And it's so cool to I'm sorry, I keep swearing today. It's cool to look back on, because that's just growth. It's like you got what you needed from that and now you've grown into this new thing. So it's almost just like those milestones that I appreciate. I say this as if I've been thinking about it a lot and have it all figured out. This is all just happening in real time in my brain. So thanks for being in it with me.
Yeah. Shout out to Lisa's brain.
Yeah, sometimes she shows up.
What's so interesting about that is how important it is to have grace for ourselves, because being very metric minded and, needing and craving measurement and being able to show and prove, and either you hit it or you didn't, compared to like, shit, I don't know, I'm just feeling it. Like if you look at it through a linear lens, that's like, oh, you've devolved. But maturation is like that. in a way to where it's like I don't know what it is, but it feels like progress.
Mm,
Even if it looks like l- it looks a little less structured than it was.
yeah.
It feels like progress. And I know that's one of the ones I got to chalk up to maturing because
He says pouting.
it just feels different. It just feels like growth. It feels like grace. It feels like I don't even know how to put it. You know what I'm saying? It's like as we continue, it's like one of those things where it's like the longer I'm here, the more sick of myself I get to where it's like I can just allow myself to be myself, if that makes any sense. Do you know? It's like, man, I'm so sick of you like taking yourself so serious or like beating yourself up or not thinking that you this or thinking that you this and then finding out that you're not. It's like, can we just like allow for like what it is? And that's the most mature. It feels like home. It
Mhm.
feels like a home that the big bad wolf of impermanence can't like blow down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, and the person that you can say that to, I mean, we've talked about this in the context of our friendship and just in relationships. The person that can say to you like, "Dude, I'm so sick of you being so fucking hard on yourself. Like, can you just be like, give yourself some grace?" Oh my God, we've had this. Like, I literally have people in my life. I'm sure you've been one of them who've said, like, okay, well, history has shown that when you come across this is usually what it's about. Like, you have like that audience, those reflectors, and the people that can say that to you in a way that's, meaningful and not just mean are the people who really know you and love you. And how good does that feel to be known and to be having those conversations within your own mind and heart, to like to be the one saying to yourself, like, dude, like I feel like that's also a self note. That's a growth of like relationship with self, to be able to have those inner conversations. And it's not that you're saying, like, and you're so stupid and I hate you. Like, no, you're just like, dude, I'm sick of this. Like, we could do better than this. And like, it's like you got a team in there that can be real with each other, all within you in a way that, I mean, that's the kind of growth that I feel like you don't even know it's possible until suddenly it's happening. And again, like so many things that are in our favor, it can be terribly inconvenient. But I agree with
Yeah.
you, and I love that for you.
Yeah, it's like, that there's not something you could manufacture nor
No.
synthesize,
Mm-mm.
in the same, like, to keep the analogy, if I see you being hard on yourself and I know you, like, yeah, there are times where like I'll chime in, but I have discernment in
Mhm.
those times because I also trust your process, and your process has made you into the person that, is my friend. And so, no, sometimes we can have the experience of somebody telling us, "Oh, you're being too hard on yourself," and then like feeling like, "Duh, that's what I'm supposed to do." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't, like, like let me have my process. Like this is what the process looks like. You're trying to interrupt my shit. You know, um, being hard on myself is has been the buy-in for the times, the softness that I've been able to have for myself.
Mhm.
Being soft on myself, and suffering from maybe like over softness has allowed for me to add the structure in a way that doesn't feel like somebody forcing something on me, because it's like it's not a forced structure. It's just like literally like how many times I'm gonna do this thing and be soft and tell myself, "Oh, it's okay, have grace," and then like suffer because of my decisions. It's like, yo, like it's not even like a whipping myself into shape thing. It's just like, oh, this like I I want this now. You know what I'm saying? And like it's okay to do this thing that feels like a pinch because like this other pinch like was more pinchy than this pinch, so I might as well just do this pinch.
Mhm.
And once again, I think that's a process of maturation, and you can't force or synthesize that. Like life works on us. So when we talking about like a year, Happy New Year, yeah, that's dope. How many years you been here? How many years you been here? How many years have you been intentional? If you somebody who, if you have like I tend because because I like to like be super hard and fast, but I tend to like look at life as before recovery and after recovery, and it's not as simple as that because there's like continuity within my before recovery and after recovery. I look back at some of the videos of me like 3-4 years in recovery, and I'm like, that guy's an asshole. But in my spirit, it's like, oh, like 2013 is when I started like living in an intentional way. And so that's where it's like I started having money in a bank account that could gain and earn interest. So from 2013 to 2026, like that time hasn't just been time that passes. That time has been time that I have had experience within that time, because you can't have experience without like the time to have the experience.
Mhm,
And I've been able to use that experience in a way that alchemizes the time and the experience into wisdom.
mhm,
And that's just from 2013. I'm not like a let's see, 26, 2030. So that's 12, 13 years. Like my daughter's 13 years old and she don't know shit for real. You know what I'm saying? Like and so to like consider, by the way, if my daughter listens to this, well, she would absolutely never, baby, I know a little bit. Um,
she's so smart.
but that's like that's not it's not a lot of time,
Mm-mm,
and so to sit here and expect myself to sit here and expect for yourself to like just absolutely know all the fucking time. And and let's just add in the variable, it's the top of a new year, and so this your resolution. And I resolve to be able to show up like this and use the momentum and the energy of like the new year to like catapult me into a new existence. It's like, hey, grace allows for the recognition that that process has already begun. That
mhm,
process has already been going on, and also there is a bit of magic in, uh, the momentum energy. I
mhm.
quit cigarettes on some momentum energy,
Yeah.
even though it was a combination of both. It was like, hey, I'm living a way and my life is changing and evolving, and cigarette smoking is making less and less sense.
Mm,
But the way I quit, after like 13, 14 years of smoking cigarettes was because I was doing this thing called 30 Days of Difference in December, where it's like every day in December I do something different that I never had did before. And I was like, what would be one of the most different things I could do? I was like, quit cigarettes. And because I did it in such like a public fashion, like I hung in with it. And that's the power of momentum. So that can
mhm.
be the power of a New Year's resolution,
Yeah.
but also know that like within that New Year's resolution, it's not like a seed that's just isolated. It's like a seed with a long tail that like this has been working in you and has been with you in the experience that you've been having way before January 1st, 2026.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because even just to take that metaphor even further, and this is as a person who doesn't grow anything, like I know with my very little limited knowledge about growing seeds, is that honestly, you could have the best seed in the world, but like if you just set it on your freaking kitchen counter, nothing is probably going to happen. And even if it does, it's not going to go very far, right? Like there's a whole soil germination situation. There is water, there's the right kind of sunshine. Like there's so many things that go into growing what eventually will be this beautiful, plant or tree that like yeah, that momentum moment could be it could be January 1st, it could be, May 7th or whatever, but like it's cool to have that start and then yeah, that knowledge of like all the other pieces that you have been putting together, that I'm putting together within you for all that time is is yeah, it's part of the recipe for having that grace for yourself and appreciation for everything you have done and not putting everything on January 1st you because holy crap, all the dates and moments before have been part of what has made January 1st you. And I mean, those are some powerful roots.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, in short,
In short.
Happy New Year.
We've never done anything in short in our lives. I do have a question that is in short, though, if you are down for a short little exercise.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to ignore the lack of enthusiasm in your voice and just going to plow forward. I'm going to water this seed. If you were to look back at, and this is just for fun, I'm not trying to like make this a big, momentous moment. Look back on 2025 and you had to assign it one word. What might that word be? Not just for you, Bryce, but for you, dear
One
listener.
word.
I know, right?
Softening.
Ooh. That just like felt like an exhale even just to hear it. Do you do like a word for the year? Like when you were putting up your big ass calendar or whatever it's called, did you put a word on there? Is that a thing that you
Absolutely
do?
not. There's too many
No?
words. It'd be like picking your favorite child. It's like you love
Softening
them all.
words. I know. I like softening though. Well, yeah, but I think the cool thing about words is they're all umbrellas. Like softening is a word that I feel like you could put a ton of words underneath it, and that's
Yeah, but
you
as
could
much
go
as I'm a
deeper.
wordsmith,
Mhm.
as much as I'm a wordsmith, words are secondary to the experience that I'm trying to use them to convey.
Mm.
And so softness comes to mind because of how many times I hit the reset button in 2025.
Mhm.
You know, and the reset button is like it surprised me how many times like I hit it and it still worked. And it's like, oh, there's a easier, softer way underneath like this thing that has my shoulders like this and my chest tight, and then in that, it's like an easier, softer way in that. If I press the reset button again, and I just press the reset button again for people around me, people I care about, people there's, I don't not give a fuck about any human being, but there's people that like I'd rather not be anywhere in a room with for a long period of time, and hitting the reset button for them.
Mhm.
And then the person I spend the most time with in my entire life, which is myself, like hitting the reset button for him in a way that just continue to soften the experience. And that feel like some really 36 shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that feel like you I feel like something that 25-year-old Bryce wouldn't have been able to do
Mhm.
just because like it has to be this way, but it has to be
Mhm.
this way. Like even like let me unzip my jacket when I say this. I've been playing video games. I was at there's this guy. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna tell the story. But when I first entered in recovery, and then I read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and I'm trying to get up out the manufacturing plant, and I'm working a build business. There's a lot of mentors like, until you hit your first million, you don't even need a TV in a house. And I'm still of the school where like I don't have a TV in my bedroom. I don't think I'll ever have a TV in my bedroom. Never say never, but like it's just like that's a place for rest, and I just don't want a TV in there. But like the only TV is in a basement. But I bought myself a PlayStation, and I've been playing games, and I've been enjoying it. And sometimes it's been medicine because it's like I just would rather like not do life right now, and that's neither good or bad, but it's like the softening in that allows for me to have that experience
Mhm.
has been really cool. And then yesterday, I went to Borders, or well, Borders doesn't exist, I don't think. Books a
Barnes& and
Million,
Noble?
well, Books a Million doesn't exist. I'm being a butthole. Barnes and
Gross.
Barnes and Noble. I went to Barnes and Noble, and I grabbed me, a whole bunch of books. And last night, I was sitting reading one of my books, and I reading, uh, really tapping into like the stuff that helps me to show up for life, and it all can exist.
Mhm.
It all can exist. And so, with all that being said, Liz, If you had to look back at 2025 and designate 2025 with a single word, what would yours be?
What a brilliant and insightful question. My gosh.
I know.
So I'm sure you've heard this because I feel like it's all on the interwebs right now, but like that 2025 was the year of the snake and was like this year of in like I think in the Chinese calendar, I'm assuming. I hope I'm not misrepresenting that, but it was the year of snake, which could be a lot of shedding and that's can be painful. And then 2026 is the year of the horse, which I mean I take to be like exciting and galloping off into the sunset. And so when I first heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, it really has felt like a year of shedding. So shedding sort of started being where I was headed. And then I was like, but no, but that also implies like a leaving behind of that old skin. And that's not how it feels at all. And then I heard someone say something about composting. And I mean, kind of like ew, because that just makes me think of a lot of banana peels in a pile with worms, because that's what composting actually is. But also, I think 2025 was a year of composting for me because it was a lot of like letting go of the stuff, the organic things that just, weren't serving me in a way that I wanted them to. Like, some things that were really hard to shift and let go and change, like entire identities, entire ideas of what the future was going to look like. There was a big shed, but also like I'm growing in that soil, it didn't just leave it behind like a snake skin, like I am growing in this now very nourished soil because of the things that I did and then set down so that I could, grow from them and not into them. And I think I'm going to stick with that word, composting.
Composting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. I can dig it. I can dig it.
You literally could because it's like soil. It used to be a banana peel.
Woo.
I know.
Hey, goodbye 2025 and hello 2026.
Hello.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't want to bring this up. I didn't want to say because nobody wants to ever like it's like 2020 is the year that we all just want to forget about. Like I never want to think about it. But I remember I feel like like maturity is all of the experience previously like embedding itself into how it is that I move forward. And like, I remember that year, and it's like, hey, happy new year, 2020 vision.
Oh my God, that's right.
And then about 3-4 months in, it was like, yoink, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, hey, ever since then, it's like, I'm hopeful and I have excitement, and I'm also aware that things can happen, and I'm here for it. Like I'm here for it. I'm
Yeah.
here for it. And strength and grace and understanding and compassion and love, I'm here for it. So whatever this shit brings, I'm glad we all here in it together.
Mhm.
Liz, I'm happy to go into the new year with you and with the Friend Lab. And, I'm excited about what we'll continue to build out here.
Me too.
Speaking of build out, tap in with us, join the Substack, join our private community. Let's get to know each other a little bit more. Call in, let us know if you got some things that you're going through it with a friend or a loved one and you're trying to figure out and work things out. You don't got to work it out alone. You got the homies. We here to help you. We here to help you. We're not experts at all. We just are people who practice actively building the best relationships we can in our lives, and we'd love to, hear your stories and work shit out with you. So everything is in the description of the podcast where you can leave a voice note and call in. You can join the Substack and tap in with us. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up in 2026, and we're excited to do that with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've just barely even cracked open this door that is the Friend Lab. We're about to jump in. It's gonna be so fun. Cooking up friendship.
It was so many metaphors. Cracking open the door, we about to jump in and cook, baby.
Where I'm at today, most days.
Hey, we love y'all. Happy New Year. And we'll talk to you soon on the next episode of The Friend Lab.
See you next year.
It's actually this year now. Bye.
Bye.